What's going on, everyone? Gilman back with another video. Today we're doing it on the wealth side of things again, and as I've done over the past couple of days, we're going to be taking a look at Apple stock, how it's doing, how it's done, throughout the course of today, how the markets have done, and then based on that, what I think, next week could look like for the stock. So, before we do that, if you enjoy these videos, please go down and like the video, subscribe so you'll be notified every time I do this. I'll try to do it pretty regularly, so just if you want to stay informed, hit that subscribe button before. But to get right into it, what we see here is taking a look at the charts. We see that taking a look at the markets for today, what we see is, the Dow dropped about 241 points, which was about a little less than 1%. S&P dropped 1%, and then NASDAQ also dropped 1%. Now, taking a look at the stock that we love, right, or that we're looking at here, which is Apple, I first want to compare it to some other stocks. So first of all, Tesla had a great day, right? Up 5% because of Battery Day as a catalyst next week. So, that's something that's keeping the stock going right now. What happens after that is going to be, interesting to see. Taking a look at Microsoft, it was down about 1.25%. Amazon was down about 1.8%. But taking a look at Apple, we see that it was down close to 3%, right? And this is something that we've seen in the past couple of days. Apple has lagged behind some of its, not only the larger NASDAQ index, but if you take a look at individually kind of the stocks that you can compare Apple to, Apple's lagging behind that as well. Now, taking a look at the one-day chart, right? So going to the one-day chart, what we see is it started at 110, trended downward, tried to push back up a little bit, over the course of the day, one push up, kind of second push up, but it dropped all the way to 106, and then it was, continuing its steady climb up, until literally the last 10 minutes of the market, right? So the market closed 10 minutes ago. So about 20 minutes ago, the stock was fine. And then the last 10 minutes, it dropped from the 108 levels to the high 106s, right? Today was quad witching, which means, a lot of options expiration was happening today. So a lot of the price action on these type of days can be, kind of weird and interesting, but it didn't close strong is kind of what I'm trying to get at here. Again, Amazon, we saw it bottom out kind of like we did for Apple, but it continued upward. Microsoft, we saw it, these are all one-day charts, right? So we see the same trend here with Microsoft, with Microsoft, with Amazon and Apple. The only difference being Apple in the last 10 minutes tanked and other stocks didn't. Again, I'll do my indicators. So moving average line, it was at 110.59. I honestly thought that it would hold up. Now we did dip below it, but I thought that the stock would be riding it. Was not true. We broke below it, and we're now kind of decently below it, about $3, but more so than that, the attempt of coming back wasn't really made. Similarly with the EMA, we see that, I always do this. I put it on and I take it right back off. So with the EMAs, as we see here as well, the EMA 55 was 109.22, and kind of like with the other moving average, we're kind of below that now as well. Now, does that mean Apple is going to, trace down to the 89 EMA? Who knows, right? It's kind of in the zone in between two EMAs, in between two moving averages. So what it does next is purely dependent on kind of A, the market around it, right? B, how much momentum the stock has, and C, if there's a catalyst event. Now, we know that a month from now is when we're expecting to see the new iPhone. I personally think that we will kind of go up into that. Now, I don't know. The thing that I don't know the answer to right now is whether the drop is done, right? Taking a look at the charts, we won't really know. If it tries to make a push towards the 55 EMA and towards that 109 level on Monday, that's great news. Now, if it bounces from that, that's bad news. If it is able to break through that or at least ride it, that's relatively good news. Now, the other thing that I want to kind of show you is, let me take the EMAs away real quick, and zoom in. So Apple made a really kind of crazy run, right? From this right here, 96 all the way to 138. That's about a 40% run. That's the type of run you see a small cap do, right? The stock that has more risk, the stock that isn't a $1 trillion company like Apple is. So a lot of this pullback that we're seeing is, I mean, it was kind of going to happen at some point, right? Apple was so overextended that it just could not continue this rally outward. We see the same thing happening with the NASDAQ, although Apple's chart looks a bit worse. Now, let me point something out here. So if we zoom in here, this day, 7/31 to August 3rd, we saw a gap up from 106.08 to 108, right? So from 106 to 108 levels, and then it continued upwards. As you can see, there was no point after this day that it came down. But today's action actually filled that gap. So the low, if you look over here, the low for the day was 106.09, which fills this gap, right? Which fills this high of 106.26. So we filled that gap. The question now becomes, are we going to, I mean, there's this other gap here that we never filled, right? From 96 all the way to 102, 103. Now, I don't personally think that Apple breaks 100, right? Especially not leading up to the iPhone launch, right? Which is expected to be the first 5G iPhone. We're hoping for a lot of sales. I think, you know, if it gets down to that level, it'll be bought up very easily. So it might be like a testing the dip. But again, you know, we'll kind of have to base it off of price action. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just my 2 cents. I like watching the stock a lot. So what you do with your money has to be kind of why you have to understand why you're doing it, as well as what your stop loss is and what point you're going to start taking profits, right? Always go into a trade plan knowing if Apple drops below this, I'm taking my money off the table. If Apple goes higher, here's how I'm going to play it. So yeah, I mean, that's all I had for today. We'll try to continue this next week as market opens again and kind of see the price action and what Apple looks like, especially in comparison to how everything else around it is doing. So with that, hope you liked, hope you enjoyed, hope you subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Drop in the comment section below if you are looking forward to Apple, whether you think it's going up or down. Make sure to like and subscribe. Let's be a bit better every single day. And until next time.